my dad was in the Navy, and he was in the Navy through the Vietnam era, and he did 7 tours of Vietnam, and he was went to sign back up again when he came stateside, and they just simply said he'd been to too many tours. He's not going back, and it was starting to wind down anyway. So they just didn't take him back. So he didn't already re-signed for another 2 years, and he was expecting to go back to Vietnam, but he didn't. So he joined the naval boxing team in Norfolk, Virginia, at the base there. So I was born in the Norfolk area, Virginia area, and stuff like that. And just he boxed till the end of his term in the Navy, and then he won quite a few matches and titles and things like that through the Navy. That he went. I don't know if you guys ever remember this, but back in the '70s and the early '80s, there was the USBA, the United States Boxing Association, and the United States Boxing Council. You got the world, the WBA, but then you also back then you had the U.S. Version of it. So he actually made it to the USBA and did really well in the welterweight division, and retired from doing all of that. Got to be a sparring partner for Marvin Hagler when he fought Vito Firma and beat him for the title. Because my dad had fought Vito many, many, many years, like whenever they were young, and he went to God. I think they went like back then they were going 15 rounds, so he went the full 15. So Marvin Hagler got him to do some sparring with him and everything. So he did a lot of sparring with some top boxers after that. And then eventually I was 7 years old, and, I lived a kind of a military life to begin with anyway, and just very strict and stuff. But I was always told, don't let any, don't fight in school, don't get kicked out of school, that kind of thing. So I was a little kid. I was short, skinny. I was just, wasn't much to me at that time, and so I got into a fight in elementary school, and I didn't fight back. Everybody else was proud of me except for my dad, So went to the principal's office, of course, and they're, oh, David showed such great self control and all this other stuff. We're so proud of him and everything. And all along, I'm looking at my dad, and he's giving me that look, and I'm like, okay. So we got in the truck, and he was like really upset. He was like, "Don't you ever let anybody put their hands on you ever again. This is where it's going to stop right now." So he went to his little storage facility there and pulled out all of his old box of stuff, and we had a garage in the back, so we just turned it into like a mini fucking training, a little mini training camp. Started there, and then started working with the YMCA back in the day, doing the Pee Wee League boxing, and then the JV League boxing, and stuff like that. And then, oh God, did Teenage Golden Gloves. Yeah, did that in Maryland and Virginia. But then after that, I started training martial arts. Started taking some Krav Maga. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, yeah. So about 10 or 11 years old, I started training like martial arts. Neighbor of ours did martial arts, and I was watching him a couple of times out in the backyard, and do some katas, and going through some steps and training and stuff. Got to talking to him, so he started teaching me Krav Maga over in the same garage that my dad taught me boxing out of. So I would box a couple of days a week, and then I would train the martial arts a couple of days a week, and then throughout the years, did tournaments, saga tournaments, Pan Ams, those kind of things, boxing tournaments, But then I pretty much quit boxing whenever I was 16 and just stayed with the martial arts.